Hey everybody, Truthslayer here. I got Silent Hunter 5 booted up. It's Battle of the Atlantic, not Wolves of the Pacific. I think that's an expansion for Silent Hunter 3 or 4. Anyway, I talked about this briefly in my last video. It's a lot of fun. Kind of. Let's see here. I'm gonna start a new game. Boot this up. Just start right from the beginning. Long load times in this game, and I think it's even longer because I'm recording. I'm probably gonna try and cut a lot of stuff out of this. I shot this once last week already, but it was the middle of the night. I was super tired, and I just kind of, towards the end of the video, I'm just kind of mumbling, and I'm not really playing very well, and it was horrible.
Returning to course. Lieutenant, the captain wants to see you on the bridge immediately. Wake up! Captain wants to see you.
So the first thing I've noticed is although this is a submarine game, it's played in first person.
What's going on?
What do you mean? Something wrong?
It's just, we got lots of officers-only messages. Something's going on.
Captain's keeping it to himself.
I don't have control of this guy yet.
War coming.
I gotta get yelled at for being a
Hurry up,
slacker a
Cap
few more
says it's
times before they'll let me actually react. Okay, here we go.
I'll wait.
I will sort of wander around and give a tour of the sub here in a minute. But we're gonna do this one first. That boat just sits there, and well,
I haven't seen a night this quiet in a long time. Such stillness, such peace. As if the troubles of the world don't make waves out here. And yet it's just the quiet before the storm. We are at war, number one. The invasion of Poland has begun. It appears that our Führer gets to rewrite history after all. And we are caught right in the middle of it.
Hey! Ship ahead! 2 o'clock! Westbound!
And so it begins. Sound the alarm. All men to action stations. Let the hunting commence.
Come on, come on, come on! Go!
okay. Go to Periscope in the command room. Although I never fight from down here. I use the attack periscope there on that little landing. But that's okay. Alright. Sink the ship or fire all 4 front torpedoes. Now you can see we got fire control over here, and we can bring this down and adjust depth and whether or not it's impact or magnetic detonation, speed of the torpedo, tube 1, 2, 3, 4, and then tube 5, which faces the rear. There's more later on. And I do this over here. This is a mod that I had installed, and I'll explain why later. Just leave that over there for right now, because it doesn't really matter.
Target marked.
Then you can either hit this fire button here or hit shift spacebar, which is usually what I do.
Firing
Most of the time I've got my mouse locked onto the periscope here, and I don't want to stop, and it's just easier to remember the keyboard command. Let's see, select another tubes. The tubes are it's also shift F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5. So I'll just shift F2. But that first torpedo I shot should hit him. And I think if we sit here for a second, he'll sink. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I gotta fire one more.
Two, los.
All I know is the torpedoes seem to work much, much better in the tutorial than they do in the actual game. Ah, there we go. You hit O, it brings up a stopwatch. When you're locked on like that, you get this red line. You get this red line that's like an estimation of when the torpedo should hit.
Tube 1, ready.
I don't know why that one didn't. Oh, there it goes. So it was only
Torpedo
a few
impact.
seconds off. Alright, bring up this tactical action interface, this little map we've got here. And you just click on the submarine and drag this line out to where you want to go, and you can put down a bunch of different lines, and then like you can even take lines out of the middle. You can grab these and move them around. You just right click to remove them, and you can grab this and change your course like that. Sometimes I'll just steer the ship by dragging this line around. You can see with the sort of amateur targeting system, there's these 3 dots on this map, and those represent where the torpedo will be at certain times in its launch. And then when you lock on to enemy ships, you get a 1, 2, and 3 coming off of the ship based on their direction and their speed, so that you can, line your torpedoes up by putting, you put the 3 over top of the 3 and fire, and there's a good chance it's going to hit. Although I won't be using that outside of the tutorial, if I can help it. That's what this book is for. But again, I'll get to that later. Let's go ahead.
Tube 2, ready.
Move up to full speed. So you get
Full
the
speed ahead. Full speed ahead.
the submarine controls are over here. That's these are the keyboard commands for that. It's tilde for all stop, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for slow, real slow, medium, full, and then extreme speed. And then if you hold shift, 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are your reverse gears. And then let's see, we've got R is surface, F for periscope depth, V for dive, and then shift V for crash dive. And you also shift R for emergency surface. A couple of ones that I didn't realize were over here until recently. This button here tells you how far the bottom of the ocean is, so that you know you're not going to crash dive in 20 feet of water and bang into the bottom. That's no good. You can also use the arrow keys to turn your boat left and right. We got let's see, I don't know if that's going to work or not. Oh, I got my map selected. There we go.
Rudder 5.
You can turn a little bit. You hold shift, hit the button, then it'll swing even faster. If you hit 0 on the keypad, that'll center the rudder. And if you hit, if I look over here and hit the decimal point on the keypad, it'll plot a course for the direction I'm pointing. But then you'll see that this is my plotted course, and I'm not following it anymore, so it's hollow. But then if I come down here and click on this little button, that'll have me return to my plotted course.
Returning to course.
And then let's see if I toggle this out. That's just the compass heading. There's also advanced controls. See, now I can set speed rather than just set 1 through 5 on the engine. I can set a specific speed or a specific depth, which isn't real useful, but I mean it's not really commonly used, but it's fairly useful when you need it. All right. So let's see here. We'll lock onto one of these. And there's sort of two ways to shoot a torpedo without doing the math. One is you just look at it and lock on, and then you can see there's the 3 dots, although you can only see one of them because the ship is stationary. So you don't really have to line them up. But then you'll see if you watch this line over here when I unlock, it moves a little bit. The ship isn't perfectly stationary. It moves a little bit.
Tracking new target.
And the thing is,
Oh, stop.
when you're pointing at this ship, it'll already kind of auto-target it. And then this line is moving because it's estimating that point that I'm looking at on the ship now will be there when it makes more sense when the ships are actually moving faster. It's auto-targeting right now, even though I'm not locked on. But let's go ahead and
Tracking new target.
we'll lock on there. There you can see that 3 is popping up because the ship is in fact moving just very slowly. Alright, I'm just going to set one off there.
Tube 1.
Bring up the next tube.
Tracking new target.
Fire one there. Tube
Firing
3.
2. Target marked.
And fire one more.
Tube 3. Loose.
And these are, I mean, they just really set you up with some sitting ducks for the tutorial. I don't think his buddies will even start moving when this guy gets hit. Usually somebody gets hit in a caravan like this or a convoy like this, and they split up and scatter, and they're I'm losing my terminologies. Their speed shuts down. They start going either faster or slower. We have a 4th one out here. Usually there's 4 ships. I think we're gonna hit that guy. And that one still looks good for that guy.
Tube 1. Ready. Torpedo
I forgot
impact.
to set the speed over here up for these guys, so kind of a long wait.
Torpedo impact.
I don't know if we're gonna need. Yikes.
New course 107
I don't know if we're
degrees.
gonna need to fire
Slow
off
speed
another couple
ahead.
to sink those 2 guys or what. Oh, what the hell? I'll resupply here in just a second anyway.
Firing tube 1.
And
Tube 4. Los.
And normally in this situation, because these are merchant ships, I would just close in and attack them with the deck gun
Tube 2.
to
Ready.
to conserve torpedoes. Because you get something like 200 rounds of deck ammunition. And although it does take a good 40 or 50 shots to sink a ship, at least when I do it, you only get like 8 torpedoes, so you want to save those for that first attack. Bring that clock back up any second now.
Torpedo impact. Torpedo impact.
Alright. And we get to go home and dock. Open up the map here. Well, see on the map, there's still one. There's still one good ship here. We can't have that.
Extreme speed ahead. New course 10
Just that guy.
degrees.
Who hasn't sunk yet. Oh, there's 2 boats there.
Target marked. 2, 1, ready. Two, loose.
Oops. I need a hotkey for that. Turn that speed up. Or like a default setting. So that it doesn't come back down. I guess the slower torpedoes are harder for the guys to spot in the water. Is that 2 boats? It is just one. Man, I don't think I've ever had it take 3 torpedoes to sink a ship in the tutorial before. I don't think I've ever had it take 2. Oh well. Anyway, that's hardly the point. Let's point us this direction. And bring us just back down to full speed. Alright, open this up. And click on the submarine there and
New waypoint.
around.
Course 50. Returning to course. New waypoint. Course 134.
oh,
New waypoint. Course 114.
Tube 3, ready.
New waypoint. Course 118.
let's go that far.
New waypoint. Course 96.
Right now, then we'll come and check this. Because it is entirely possible to run into a piece of land that you did not see when you were plotting your course because you were too far zoomed out. Especially when you get into the higher time compression. And time compression is a very important part of this game. Alright. Back down here.
New waypoint. Course 86. New waypoint. Course
Alright, pull these
86.
back off. I just did that so it'd give me this. This is the time compression menu here. And they suggest taking this and hitting, well, it's also plus on the keypad. Take it up to 1024. But if you hit shift and hit plus, then it goes all the way up to 8,192. Which is where I like it for this kind of long stuff. Now you see it kicked back down to 32 there. That's because I made this. This is a sonar contact. These lines coming off of the thing. But I'm not interested in that. I'm not trying to sync anything right now. So I'm just going to speed this back up. And I forget. I think black sonar contact is merchant ship and blue sonar contact is...
We are in shallow waters, Captain.
Warship.
Ship sighted. Airing.
Excuse me. And it keeps stopping me for all these ships that are...
New
Okay.
contact, merchant, moving slow,
Yeah,
closing,
merchant.
bearing 29,
on the,
long
the
range.
black line there.
New contact, merchant, moving slow, closing.
Let's go here.
Bearing 32, long range.
Ain't got time for jibber jabber. I'm gonna come back to the come back and get up to the top again. Just sort of steer it in from there. Periscopes now. Keep those up.
Escort sighted. Bearing 346.
All stop.
We're
Full
approaching
speed
our
ahead.
final waypoint.
Get that there. Yeah, this
Smoke on the horizon. Bearing
port is a pain in the
339.
ass to get in and out of.
We are in shallow waters, Captain.
Luckily, this is the only. Whoa!
Port to port. Rudder
Luckily, this is the
180.
only time we
Degrees
dock
to
here.
port. Rudder 5. Degrees to starboard. Rudder 0. Rudder 0. Rudder 5. Degrees to port.
Escort sighted. Bearing 338.
Rudder 0. Rudder 0.
Kind of graphical error there, that big brown smudge.
Ship sighted. Bearing 60.
There we go. Finally got this little anchor symbol up here. And patrol dock in a keel.
All stop.
Don't
Rudder
let any
0.
of this fool you, number one. If we were to go up against the English tomorrow, we'd be outnumbered 8 to 1. The Führer is crazy to believe that a few U-boats can take it up with the Royal Navy. But of course, it is only my opinion. After you.
Welcome, gentlemen, and congratulations on a successful patrol. I say the war is off to a good start. Yes? Well, it certainly is for you, Captain. I have direct orders from the BDU to assign you to U-122.
But what about my boat and my crew?
They will receive a new captain. Herr Lieutenant, you are hereby promoted to captain of U-27, and are to take command immediately. A second in command has already been assigned to you. He will be waiting for you by the boat. Now, please, gentlemen, if you will excuse me, come back later for your mission briefings. I have an urgent call with Naval High Command.
So, Captain, war changes everything, doesn't it? Let this be my last piece of advice to you. Never let it change you. We are soldiers. We fight, we destroy, we even kill. But we do it with honor and respect for our enemy. Never forget that. Be good to my crew. They were the best I ever had.
Okay. They say like our new our new second in command is somewhere waiting by the boat, but that's not him. He wears an eye patch. And Frankly, you can't even move around that much. You can't, because this is all blocked off. I would have liked like an officer's mess up here somewhere. You sit down and have a drink, nice meal. But oh well, who cares? Alright, over here we'll talk to this dock master guy. And we'll look at upgrades. I think there's only one available right now.
Sure, what do you want?
Fill
Sure
myself
thing.
up on
What do
torpedoes.
you have in mind?
And you got to be careful because they'll try and every once in a while they'll try and slip you these electric torpedoes that I don't know, they don't work very well. Let's see, sensors. And get this rotating.
Sure, what do you want? Sure,
Rotating
what do you want?
hydrophone. Works a little bit better, I think. And then I always have to come in here and buy the one from Das Boot. And some of these are pretty cool. I kind of like the mermaid. And then again, you know, the Kraken pulling the ship under is good for a submarine, but I
Yes,
get the little
Captain.
swordfish.
You won't recognize your girl when I'm through with her.
All right. Yeah, look at this guy.
Welcome
Look at
back,
mission order.
Herr Köhler. Come in, Captain. I have just received your orders from Naval High Command. Unfortunately, our situation has just changed for the worse. Have a look at this. Following our invasion of Poland, England and France have now declared war on us. A situation not anticipated by Berlin. This of course means that we are now up against the most powerful fleet in the world, the Royal Navy. An uneven match if ever there was one. The British fleet numbers 255 warships. We merely have 34. Which leaves us with only one hope. Our U-boats. Our enemies have set up a naval blockade which traps our battleships in their ports or forces them into direct confrontation out at sea. A situation that must be avoided at all cost at this moment. Only smaller forces like the submarines can evade this blockade and make for the open sea. We currently possess 46 U-boats. 22 are ready for battle. You will command one of them, Captain. Make good use of her. Strategically, as Commodore Dönitz has explained, our overall objective is to exploit England's dependence on imported goods
Commodore
and
Dönitz.
strike her without direct confrontation by cutting off all supply lines and starving its people until the king himself begs for mercy. Your goal for now is to attack and inflict as much damage as possible along Britain's main coastal supply routes. Focus your attacks primarily on unescorted convoys and freighters. This will disrupt the enemy's supply lines, slow down their shipyard production, and diminish their overall shipping power. Let's give those Tommies hell. They'll never know what hit them.
All
Good
right.
hunting.
So then you get a selection of missions here. There's this one over here is sink 50,000 tons to the British eastern coast. This one over here is sink 100,000 tons of cargo in southwestern approaches. I am going to start with this one just because it's closer. The other one you gotta go all the way around or try and sneak through here, and that's really hard. It's hard to get through there. So you hit request mission and then close the map. And then talk to him and say, let's start the new patrol.
Welcome back, Herr Köhler.
Returning to
All stop.
course.
Half speed ahead. All stop.
We're reaching
Ship
course
sighted,
end.
bearing.
Alright. So, well,
Half
give
speed
her a little
ahead.
gas. some of the time acceleration here.
Smoke on the horizon. Bearing 27.
Rudder 5
Out
degrees to
away.
port.
This one.
Hard to starboard. Rudder 180 degrees to starboard. Rudder 0. Full speed
Smoke on the
ahead.
horizon. Bearing 357.
Rudder 5 degrees to port. Rudder 5 degrees to port.
Ship sighted. Bearing 343.
I just worry about that every once in a while one of those guys will turn and get right in front of you at the last second.
Smoke on the horizon. Bearing 35.
Crash into one of your own guys, that'll end a career real quick.
Smoke on the horizon. Bearing 19.
Hard to starboard. Rudder 180 degrees to starboard.
That's another problem I have. When you click over here on the map, then
Rudder 0.
your
Rudder 0.
left and right turn buttons move the map back and forth. If you don't remember to click back over, then you end up almost running into a ship like that.
Smoke on the horizon. Bearing 26. Smoke on the horizon. Bearing 56. Smoke on the horizon. Bearing 255.
Alright, that's about gonna set the sea. The hell are we-
New waypoint. Course 58. We are in shallow waters, Captain. New waypoint. Course 304.
Real pain in the ass getting out of here.
New waypoint. Course
Oop.
242. New waypoint. Course 219. New waypoint. Course 196.
I'll just make sure we're not pointed at any little rocks. Yeah. Further away. Look there, there's a good example. That little rock there completely disappears at this zoom level. Watch out for stuff like that. I think I'm okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and, well, I don't want to get that close. Let's pull it back to about there. And then just got full-time compression. Alright.
All stop.
We're reaching course end. Would you like
Take
to
this.
plot a new course, Captain? Maybe a search
Go for
pattern?
right there. Oh, too close. You can't quite click on it. There we go.
New waypoint. Course.
All right, we'll look around the ship
16.
here. when we get
Returning
that.
to
And
course.
There's a ladder here on
Half
either
speed
side of the
ahead.
conning tower. We head to the back here, and here's the get on the flat gun. We're going all the way back down here to the end of the ship. Although that's kind of freaky. I wouldn't hang out down there too much. And then you come up here and go all the way around. This side, excuse me. And here's the deck gun. Go right around the front of that. Very in front of the ship. Do that whole, oh, I'm the king of the world thing. Come back over here. Climb back up here. That's one of the periscope holes. Is the other one up here? Yeah, there's the other periscope hole. And I guess, I don't know, there must be some kind of instruments up here for doing something. There's this UZO here. It's like a set of binoculars, but it's tied into the torpedo aiming computer. Well, computer's sort of generous, but the machine that aims the torpedoes is tied into this here, but I don't like it. It's only got that one zoom level, and you have to be on the surface to use it. I'm gonna duck down here. No, I'm not sure what we'll call this area, but I don't know. The tower. It is because that's the conning tower. This is. But anyway, here's the. Actually, this is one of the torpedo controlling panels. It doesn't actually look like that when you interact with it. You can set it to. There are mods that'll make it look like that when you're actually setting it, but I don't know. I don't find it necessary. This here's the attack periscope. Got a zoom to it. And this is the one that I'll usually use when I'm actually trying to shoot at other ships. Let's get out of there here. And this, really finally look around this place. Let's see, no, we'll just go all the way up front first. And we got the forward torpedo room. Although, there should be way more torpedoes than this in here right now. Unless maybe they keep them behind these wall panels, but I don't think so. I think those are beds. Anyway, here's the torpedo man. Some of these guys you can talk to, but a lot of them don't have anything to actually say. Kind of look up here. Lifts and the hoist for loading the upper torpedo tubes. Slide past here, some crew quarters. The sonar room. Hydrophone. That's we can really hear anything right now because we're moving and we got the engines running full and we're above water. Talk to this guy. How you doing?
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. I'm doing all right, Captain. No
So no one is
complaints.
picking on you?
Thank you. No. Well, maybe sometimes. But
You
it's
let me know
nothing
if there's
serious,
trouble.
Captain.
I know how hard it can be to be the youngest crew member.
Okay, Captain. I'll let you know if something happens. Jawohl, Herr
His
Kaloin.
morale will go up here in a minute. And then here's the radio man. How's your brother?
Jawohl, Herr
He's on the
Kaloin.
Bismarck.
He's fine, Lieutenant. Herr Kaloin, thanks. He's very honored to serve on such an
Alright,
outstanding
very
ship.
proud.
They are, Herr Kaloin, especially our mother. Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
And then I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I can sit here, but I haven't found any interactable dials or anything yet. There's switch range. Maybe it's... So, I don't know. I don't even think we have a radar right now. Which would explain the inability to turn it on and off, even though the switch is highlightable. Oops, not what I meant to do. Huh. Anyway, ooh, code machine. That was a nice little addition that they threw that in there. Let's see here. Oh, that's what I was looking at. There's a Captain Spunk over here. You can kind of lay down here and basically just look around. There's not really anything to do here. Let's come through here. Here's the sort of command center of the ship. Excuse me. And a lot of these, they're like actual interactable things, and you know, all your dials and switches, but it's, gosh, it's hard to read them. Let's see here. I think that's the second in command.
Ja, bitte?
Chief
That's
engineer.
better.
How's
Too
your
bad
one?
when my parents are with her now. I guess there isn't much I could do for her anyway.
Keep up the good work.
Ja, bitte?
There's the navigator.
Waiting your orders, Captain.
There's the executive
Jawohl, Herr
officer.
Kaloin. Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. War, Herr Kaloin, is a matter of will,
He,
not fleet size.
he's pretty new.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
I think later on we find out a lot of the guys don't like him. Bo's in here. Still writing that book here.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Regular, Captain. It keeps me sane. Otherwise, my thoughts would be raging in my head.
Keep up the
Jawohl,
good
Herr
work.
Kaloin.
You want to
Nice,
try
you
some
brought your
of this stew,
violin.
Captain?
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
The bosun cut my strings, so
I
there's
love
enough
that.
noise down here. Trust me, that score isn't
He's
settled.
carrying
I'll
his
get him back
violin on
somehow.
board. I said, well, hang on.
Wanna try some of this stew, Captain?
Blink! There you go. Now you can bring it on board. Then back here we get the diesel engines. He's apparently not interesting enough to have anything to say. Oh, excuse me. Damn. And then back here we have the electric engines. And let's see. Gunner.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Gunner sits all the way in the back. Well, anyway. So that's the ship. It's cramped, but it works. Up here. Get into my sort of attack positions here. And bring this up. I'll go to the map. And kick this up a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is kind of periodically I'll dive down to periscope depth. And then shut the engines off
Periscope depth. Current depth
'Cause
10
that'll make us quiet enough
meters.
that we can run into this contact here. The sonar wouldn't have picked that up if we were moving on the surface.
Surface the boat. Half speed ahead.
Because when you're really, just take a minute here to acknowledge the actual World War II submarine experience, submarine hunting experience. You're really doing this. You get up here and everybody picks a side, and you whip out your binoculars and you kind of scan to the left, scan to the right, left. Right. And left. And right. For about 6 hours. Then you take about a half an hour, go down and get some food. Then you come back up for about another 6 hours. And left. And a little right. And a little left. And while that would certainly add a whole other level of realism to the game, I am glad that it is not necessary. I like to be able to just sit down here and use the equipment to find what I'm looking for. Try and get another ping off him from the radar room.
Periscope
from the radio
depth.
room.
Current depth 10 meters. All stop.
Nothing out of him. Maybe he was too far away. Oh, no, there he is. That's right, I forget. They don't show up on the tactical map. Let's get back up to the surface.
Surface the boat. Extreme speed ahead.
See if we can't try and catch this sumbitch. Trying to figure out if that line is moving. Yeah, well, it was. We're kind of looking this way. He is a ways off yet.
Smoke on the horizon. Bearing 359.
That's almost dead ahead. I don't even see him yet. Alright, let's swing around this way and try and get ahead of him. It is really hard to shoot a ship from behind. Ideally, you want to get up in front of him and then turn kind of sideways to him. And then let him come to you. Let's crank up the time a little bit. See if we're pulling ahead of this guy or not. probably too far away from the goal area anyway. Okay, now that we're getting over here, let's dive down periscope depth, cut the engines off. And then I like to pull up the clock and sit here for 2 or 3 hours, just kind of listening.
Full speed ahead. Periscope depth.
Picked something up.
Half
over in
speed
this
ahead.
direction.
Ship sighted. Bearing 311.
Yep, there he is. I saw him. Okay, now's when this gets interesting. Here, let's see. Pull his back some.
Extreme speed ahead.
We're gonna try and get as far ahead of this guy as possible. One of the things I do want to do. Oh, that already was zoomed in. Let's kind of bring it around like this. Hopefully we'll get ahead of him. Now you can see he's got this dark circle around him. And that basically that's how far his visibility is right now. And yeah, it's kind of cheaty that I even have the map contacts on at all like this, but it's... I don't know. I don't think it's that cheaty. Alright, let me bring this down a little bit. Now, there's an original interface for this, but it doesn't work very well. So I went and got this one. And I like this one. There we go. Turn the TDC on. That's the torpedo direction controller. No, that's not it. It's the torpedo something. Alright, now one of the things that this is for identifying what type of ship you're looking at. Let's just bring the time all the way down. Take plenty of time on this. So we're over here, we'll click on freighter. And then down here we've got some options. The bow shape is either raked, plumb. That looks to me to be a raked bow. Oh, raked bow. Now what else do we got here? We've got oop. Let's see, a composite superstructure or a split superstructure. And that looks like there's just one thing there. There's not like half a bridge up here and then some of it back there. And then the islands I can't quite make out at this range. So then I've got these little arrows here that'll flip through the pictures. And this sort of gives you, that's directly side, that's directly at the front, and then that's kind of at a 45-degree angle. Which is nice, because the default one just has this picture. And when you're looking at that, trying to figure out whether or not that looks like that, it's a little bit difficult. Alright, whoop. I didn't let go of it. Now let's see, this one has this extra thing here that I don't see there. Let's see, we got 2, and then 1, and then 2. That looks close. Sort of a lower section, and then an upper section. Liberty Cargo, and I happen to know from previous experience that Liberty Cargo spends a lot of time out here, so that's a good possible. Military cargo, amphibious group command ship. Doesn't look like that, doesn't look like that, doesn't look like that. That's not it, that's not it. Alright. So now we've successfully identified this as a Liberty Cargo, so I'm going to check this little box. And one of the things that does, where's my tab, drag that here. One of the things that does is now, that gives us the depth of the ship. Because ideally, you want to hit it right about on the spine.
Torpedo depth set to 5 meters.
Alright, now we got that. Let's go back here. Now the other thing that this does is, there's a tool that you use to judge range to the ship. It's called a stodometer. And basically the way it works is you put your periscope line right on the water line, and then you hit a button, and then it gives you like a double image, and you align the periscope line up with the top of the tallest mast. So that would be like the tip of that flagpole there. And then because you know what kind of a ship it is, damn it, I keep forgetting to let go of that. Ugh. And then because you know what type of a ship it is, you know what the measurements are, then you can tell from that angle what your distance is. The problem is that when they made this game, they gave all the ships a default height of 20 meters. So even though this one's taller than that, that's the line that you have to measure on. And that was the real reason I tracked down this mod, was just so that I could get accurate range readings. So I think I'm going to try and take one right now, although he's still pretty far away. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to put that right about there. Come over here and click on range, use the stodometer, and put that, try and put it right there. There. And that gives us a range of 4870. Now I can kind of cheat and come over here and use this ruler, check from him to us. Well, that says about 44. But like I said, we're going to be inaccurate just because of how far away we are. But you can see that's a damn sight closer than I was getting before. Alright, so now we're still a little too far away to attack him. And then the other kind of crucial pieces of information we need are speed, which we can estimate later based on his, well, this is over here, it's a max speed of 13 knots. He's probably going 10. Because we're going 12 and getting slightly ahead of him. He's probably going 10. But we'll estimate from range later. Let's see, the other one is angle on bow. And this one is if we were standing on that ship looking at us, what direction would we be looking? And he's kind of, well, let's see, we're not directly beside him. We're a little bit to the front. And then he's turned a little bit this way. So I'm going to call it about 70 degrees. Although from what I understand, that'll reset itself when you, I think when you take range markings. And it also changes when you move the periscope. Although that kind of makes sense, because if he's there and then he's over there, his angle is going to be changing as long as he's traveling in a straight line. I'm gonna come over here, see if we can't kind of cut this distance a little bit. I don't want to get too close to him before we dive, because I would like to drop down to periscope depth before we fire off at this guy. And I'm going to kind of just speed this up a little bit. Alright, and cut that back down to regular time and bring us in about like this. Get down to periscope depth. It's always easier to change depth while you're still moving forward. Hopefully we're starting to get down underwater here. Yeah, there we go.
Current depth,
Alright.
10 meters.
Now you can see his black
All
circle,
stop.
his dark circle, his visibility around here has
Shut
gotten
down
much
these
lower because now
engines.
we're just a stick poking up out of the water. Alright. Now we're gonna come over here and we're gonna put that right there and try and get another range reading. Then I'm gonna, it's a little bit closer now because it looks like it's right at the top of those back cranes. So I'm gonna put that there, and then I'm gonna wait until that rear mast crosses the midpoint line, because I'm fairly certain that it's important, especially for speed estimations, to take a couple of readings from the same, what is that, X coordinate, I guess I want to call it. There we go. And then move up about to the front of the ship again. Well, I don't know, that seems a little close. A little close together for trying to get an accurate range meeting. Range, rate, speed. So, bring it back out about here. Get up to that water line. And try and put that about there. And then wait for that mast to hit the center line. Drats. That's still pretty close. So then if we go over here and we hit estimated from range observations, I've got him going 11. Oh, don't forget to turn that speed up. Faster torpedoes make it a little bit easier, although there are a couple of skills that you can give your torpedo man that make the torpedoes go faster, and apparently the game isn't smart enough to factor that in. So if you accidentally put points in that, like I have a couple of times, your torpedoes are always going in front of the guy. Just keep taking measurements here. That's gonna go in 10. going to take this protractor. I'm going to go... It is... If that's 90, then he is at, let's see, 133, that's about... What is that? Now I've forgotten what I'm trying to do. I was like, oh, I can get angle on bow if I... What was I doing? There's a more appropriate way to do this. Let's see, if straight ahead is 180, then he is, what, 50, 55? Although that doesn't even count anymore. Now it's more like 60. Call that good enough. The idea is that it should read 90 when we hit right there. Take that. Just bring it down a little bit. Alright. Now I got my depth set for right about the bottom. I'm gonna get another one set up.
Torpedo
as
depth
well.
set to 5 meters. Closing tube 1.
And
Torpedo
this should be a
set
hit.
to 5 meters.
With as careful as I've been with this, and assuming that all my readings are okay. Let me try and get one more. Now that he's real close. Speed stayed at 10, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna take one shot here. And I'm gonna take one
Firing
shot
tube 2.
here. You can actually, I think he's
2,
finally close
1,
enough you can
lost.
actually see people moving around up there. Alright. Open. Oh, let's see what we're looking at here. Get rid of that. There we go.
Torpedo impact.
There we go. 2 big solid hits, and you can see
Torpedo
that blue
impact.
line. He's taking on water. There's a good chance that if I just sit here and kind of crank the speed up a little bit.
Tube 2 ready. Tube 1 ready.
Give him a couple of hours that he'll just sink. Yep. Alright, looks like we're gonna have to come in behind him with the guns.
New waypoint. Course 354.
Full speed ahead.
Some of these guys have guns on them some places. I don't know, some of them... No, this guy probably doesn't. I could probably just go right at him. They're not usually armed. Alright, so I'm gonna get out of here. Come up here and tell him to surface.
Surface the boat.
Open this up. Now you can either look at him with your binoculars, and when that turns red, you hit the space bar, and the gunner will go down there and start shooting at him himself. Or come down here, take it over manually. Let's go ahead and stop moving.
Oh, stop.
I don't like this view. There we go. He's nowhere near that far away. Oop, blew his lifeboats off. And right now I'm just using the armor-piercing shells. There's also some high explosive. If we can't blow some holes in the hull. Wait till he floats up. Put a hole in his structure. Put him back here. Blow a mast clean off. I can pull that off. Oop, I think he just sank. I shouldn't have do it. Yep. He sunk.
Oh, stop.
We're reaching course end.
No, I'm good. There's a hotkey that takes you back up to the top of the con tower here, but I don't remember what it is. I'm just gonna stand here and watch this guy sink, and then I think that'll be a good place to cut this off. Oh, down she goes. Bye-bye, fellas. Little chunks of debris still floating on the surface. Oh. Alright, yeah, see, and then you come back here and you can see that, hopefully, if that was close enough. Yeah, there we go. The little progress, a little motion on the progress bar. I guess I should cover that. Let's see here. Okay, that's the captain's log. And you get these radio contacts. People will radio you with locations of stuff, but I never head out to them. Usually, they're hard to find. And send off a status report. And I get back. Good work. No new objective at this time. Patrol another area of your choice or return to base X. Actually, I don't think that's at base X. Anyway, and then there's this other one here for sending reports if you run into a convoy. And I don't know if you get points for that or what, but I've sent a few of those off. Here you can see the current patrol. We've sunk one ship for a total of 7,000 tons. Did we get shot at? What was that? We just coast over his wreckage and we can still hear him burning underwater? Let's,
Closing tube 1.
New waypoint. Course 88. Returning to course.
Half speed ahead.
there we go. Yeah, we're back out in the middle of nowhere.
All stop.
We're reaching
great.
course end.
There we go. Okay. Let's see, where was I? Captain's log. And you can see the primary objective says complete because all it's talking about is that one little mission that I got. I can go back and then select this again and say request mission, and it'll show me another place to go to patrol, or I can just keep going up and down here until I've sunk all 50,000 tons, which is probably what I'll do. Let's see, that's that one. This is the torpedo menu. I mean, you can see you got 4 reserves left, 1 in the aft, and then 4 aft, 1 in the aft. Later on, I'll get ones. I'll get a submarine that actually has some reserves in the rear as well. Let's see, and then let's see. Subsystems here. This is like if stuff's damaged. Battery level right now is at 90% because we were traveling underwater for a little while and it hasn't had time to fully charge back up. I think our radio room, the hydrophone, observation periscope, diesel engine, motor room, deck watch. This is just kind of where you go to look for stuff that's been damaged on the ship and check on its status as it's being repaired. And then the crew. Oh, good. See, I've got 20 promotion points now. So I'm gonna go over here to like the motor officer. And let's see here. Engine tuning. See, they have passive abilities and then active abilities. Passive abilities take 1 point, and active abilities take 2 points. So I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna click on this and put a bunch of points in that to keep us, get us going as fast as possible. And then I don't know, faster battery recharge, quieter engine. As long as you keep away from guys that can scan for you, you don't really need that. Oh, not discard. Close, and then let's see, navigator here. We've got extra depth. What is that? Faster diving. Let's see, turning, faster turning. Come out of here. I forgot the chief engineer. See, he only has active abilities. Increased repair, reduced flooding time, and repair items. This guy's got battle stations to increase it. It increases overall efficiency. I'm not sure what that means. Silent running, which I should pick up at some point. And then Torpedo Man. Yeah, that's the one. I think. I think it's Warhead Specialist that increases your torpedo speed and screws with your aim. The reloading drills makes it faster to reload torpedoes, and then that one keeps you from firing dud torpedoes. The bosun here, he's got ones that keep morale up, and then ones that give you longer oxygen, so you can stay underwater longer. The cook here just has this. Let's see, he's got a morale boost as well. And then a special meal that restores some morale. Let's see here. He's got the watch officer just sends people to the deck gun and the flak gun. There's the sound guy here. Let's see here. What do we got? Reduces darkness penalty. Direction finder, hydrophone. Yeah, better detection from the hydrophone. I definitely want that. And then let's see, radio guy. Direction finder radar. Direction finder radio. I'm not sure what those are. As far as I'm aware, I've never picked up a thing on the radar or the radio. And then let's see, I'm just gonna go ahead and max out the deck gunner. I know I didn't use him, but he's really far better at it than I am. There we go. So you can see, yeah, as you sink stuff, you get points that you can assign to your guys. I don't know if I'm missing anything else. You hit F1, it'll bring up all the keyboard commands. And shift, some of them are shift. If you hold shift, it shows you what the shift commands are as well. Crew management, captain's log, clock. Report, external camera, vent camera. Yeah, that's... Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, well, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I can play some more of this if it's entertaining. If it's not, then I don't have to. Well, I mean, I will keep playing it, but I don't have to keep filming it. Just thought I'd, show off another game that interested me. So I'm going to come down here and take a nap. And we'll see you next time.